Titanium is a metal so notoriously difficult to extract and process that for decades, it was literally just considered a rare laboratory curiosity. Today, today it's the absolute backbone of modern industrial infrastructure. Welcome to this documentary-style explainer. We're going to look at everything you need to know about Alloy 360's titanium Grade 2 stocks, located right in the strategic logistical hub of Jebel Ali, Dubai. If you're dealing with high-stakes engineering projects anywhere in the world, you already know that material sourcing can completely make or break your timeline, not to mention your budget. So let's unpack exactly what makes this specific inventory so critical.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our agenda for today. We'll start with pricing and cost drivers, move on to formats and dimensions, explore applications and benefits, cover logistics and stock, compare the grades, and finish up with some frequently asked questions. Section 1. Pricing and cost drivers.
Now, to accurately budget for specialized metal alloys, you really need to understand the daily reality of the commodity itself. The foundational element here is something called titanium sponge. This is the highly regulated, porous form of pure titanium used as the base for manufacturing these alloys, and it is incredibly energy-intensive to make. The extraction process, known as the Kroll process, requires extreme heat and harsh chemicals to literally strip the titanium away from its ore. So the global availability and the price fluctuations of this raw sponge, they directly dictate the baseline import costs before the metal even reaches the UAE. But beyond the raw sponge, specific finishing requirements heavily drive the final cost. Why? Because more processing time naturally equals higher prices. For example, a cold-rolled 2B finish gives you a much smoother surface for high-precision applications, whereas a hot-rolled No. 1 finish is typically used for heavy-duty structural bulk. Now, what's really interesting here are the localized freight savings. Sourcing directly from Alloy 360's extensive stock in Jebel Ali actually lowers inland freight surcharges. Plus, supplying massive infrastructure projects, think giant desalination plants, unlocks volume-based discount tiering through their direct mill partnerships. It's a huge advantage. Section 2. Formats, dimensions, and technical profile. Let's explore the incredibly diverse physical stock they have, ready for immediate dispatch. For sheets and plates, we're looking at thicknesses ranging from 0.5 all the way to 50 millimeters, spanning cold-rolled sheets, hot-rolled plates, coils, and strips. Next up, round bars and billets. These range from 6 to 350 millimeters in diameter, and you can get them in bright polished, peeled, black, or ground forms. For piping, they stock seamless and welded pipes from half-inch to 12-inch nominal bore, which, if you're wondering, simply refers to the inner diameter sizing. These come in schedules 10s, 40s, and 80s. Those schedules just indicate the wall thickness and pressure ratings of the pipes. They also carry ASTM B363 fittings, so your elbows, T's, reducers, and well neck flanges. Finally, for welding, they supply ERT toil welding wires from 1.6 to 3.2 millimeters. And get this, they're stored in 5-kilogram rigid plastic tubes that are completely hydrogen sealed. That is absolutely critical to prevent the metal from becoming brittle before it's ever used on the job. Let's move on and see how this builds the material's undeniable integrity through its strict chemical profile. To guarantee international compliance with aerospace, marine, and industrial standards like ASTM B265, DIN 3.7035, and UNSR 5400, the composition has to be heavily weighted with a balance of minimum 99.2% titanium. Trace elements are tightly capped, iron at a maximum of 0.30%, oxygen at 0.25%, carbon at 0.08%, and nitrogen at 0.03%. But most notably, hydrogen is restricted to a tiny maximum of just 0.015%. Why so low? Well, excess hydrogen causes something called hydrogen embrittlement. It's a chemical reaction that can actually make the titanium shatter under heavy stress. Definitely not something you want happening. That precise chemistry results in a density of just 4.51 grams per cubic centimeter. But really, that's just the start of its mechanical baseline. This metal boasts a massive 1,660 degrees Celsius melting point. To put that into perspective, that is literally hotter than the lava flowing from most volcanoes. It also delivers a tensile strength spanning 345 to 480 megapascals, a minimum yield strength of 275 megapascals at a 0.2% offset, and a 20% minimum elongation. This unique combination of incredibly high tensile strength and extremely low density is exactly why this material is used to build rockets. Section 3. Industrial applications and benefits. So, the crucial point is how this metal functions out in extreme environments. In desalination and water treatment plants across the GCC, it is the absolute go-to material for heat exchanger tubes, evaporator shells, and piping networks in multi-stage flash and reverse osmosis systems. In oil and gas processing, it's deployed for subsea equipment, production wells, and offshore cooling water systems where sour gas and seawater corrosion would normally just destroy standard steels. For chemical and petrochemicals, it forms the high-pressure piping, storage tanks, and reactor vessels handling aggressive oxidizing acids and organic compounds. And in marine and shipbuilding, it is heavily used in ship hulls, seawater intakes, and propulsion shafts due to its incredible resistance to biofouling and cavitation.
Let's break down what commercially pure Grade 2 actually means in practice for your projects. First, its exceptional corrosion resistance allows it to effortlessly withstand saltwater, wet chlorine, and harsh inorganic acids. Next, excellent formability means it can be cold-formed, bent, and stamped for really complex fabrications. It features high weldability using standard TIG and MIG techniques, assuming you have proper inert gas shielding. It is also incredibly lightweight. We're talking about 60% the density of standard steel. Think about that for a second. This means large-scale infrastructure can be built significantly lighter, which ends up saving massive amounts of money on foundational support engineering and transport logistics. Finally, its biocompatibility makes it completely safe for medical implants and food processing systems. It really is an economically efficient powerhouse.
Section 4. Sourcing logistics and inventory features.
We all know managing a major industrial project requires absolute reliability. There's no room for guesswork. Every single item in this inventory is backed by full EN 1024 3.1 traceability. This certificate is essentially a birth certificate for the metal. It legally proves its exact chemical makeup and original heat numbers, which is absolutely mandatory for high-stakes engineering. They also provide intermediate processing, including custom precision water jet and bar saw cutting, so you get the exact dimensional accuracy you need. And their strategic positioning right next to Jebel Ali Port ensures rapid dispatch options whether by land, sea, or air, all while minimizing customs duties via the free zone. Sourcing exclusively from audited global mills guarantees consistent mechanical and chemical performance, and it's all backed by a regional technical sales team right in Dubai.
Section 5. Comparison of titanium grades and trust signals.
In comparing these grades brilliantly illustrates exactly how industrial planners select the precise material they need. Let's walk through the 4 commercially pure grades. Grade 1 has the highest purity and excellent formability, but it has the lowest tensile strength at a minimum of 240 megapascals. This makes it ideal for explosive cladding, which, by the way, is literally using controlled explosions to bond highly flexible titanium to cheaper steel plates. Grade 2, our main focus today, is the absolute sweet spot. It offers high purity, a step up to 345 megapascals tensile strength, and very good formability for things like heat exchangers and piping. Grade 3 bumps the strength to 450 megapascals with moderate formability, perfect for pressure vessels. Finally, Grade 4 offers lower relative purity but gives you the highest tensile strength at 550 megapascals, used heavily for industrial fasteners. So the rule of thumb is, as tensile and yield strengths increase from Grade 1 to 4, ductility and formability proportionally decrease based on what your industrial needs are.
Now, none of those amazing specifications matter without rigid trust signals backing them up, right? Alloy 360's warehousing and distribution processes fully meet ISO 9001:2015 standards. Every stock product complies fully with ASTM, ASME, and DIN specifications. They are third-party inspection ready, actively coordinating with top-tier agencies like SGS, Bureau Veritas, Lloyd's Register, and TUV to verify materials right on site. And the whole operation runs under full JOFSA regulatory compliance. JOFSA, or the Jebel Ali Free Zone Authority, ensures zero-friction global trade while maintaining incredibly strict security and quality oversight.
Section 6. Frequently asked questions. We have 10 common inquiries from the source material to cover rapidly here. First up, what is the current average price per kilogram, and is the Jebel Ali stock fully certified? Well, the price depends heavily on raw material market conditions, order volumes, and the required finishes, because, as we mentioned earlier, more processing time equals a higher cost. Reaching out directly is really the best way to get a specific quote. Regarding certification, rest assured, every single item is fully traceable and accompanied by that 3.1 mil test certificate straight from the producing mill. Next question. Do they ship from Jebel Ali to Saudi Arabia and other GCC countries? And what is the local lead time? Yes, absolutely.
Sourcing here allows rapid road, sea, or air freight dispatch to major industrial centers like Dammam, Jubail, Muscat, Doha, and Kuwait. And for local orders within Dubai, if the material is currently in stock, they prepare orders for pickup or local delivery within a very fast 24 to 48 hours of order confirmation. Here is an important comparison question. What is the exact difference between titanium grade 2 and grade 5? The best way to think of it is this. Grade 2 is your chemical shield, while grade 5 is your structural muscle. Grade 2 is commercially pure titanium characterized by excellent corrosion resistance and ductility. Grade 5, or Ti6Al4V, is an alloy that contains aluminum and vanadium. This gives it significantly higher strength but much less ductility, making it suitable for high-stress aerospace applications rather than standard industrial fluid systems.
Do they offer custom cutting for plates? And what sheet sizes do they actually stock? Yes, they provide precision in-house waterjet and saw cutting services for plates, circles, flanges, and custom profiles. For their standard stock, they carry sheet thicknesses from 0.5 up to 12 millimeters and plates all the way up to 50 millimeters thick across a wide variety of standard dimensions. 3 quick logistics questions here: import duties, inspections, and order minimums. Shipments delivered directly from the free zone to other free zones or to international destinations are entirely exempt from local customs duties. Standard UAE duties only apply if you are making a mainland delivery. For inspections, they actively host inspection officers from major agencies like Lloyd's and SGS to verify materials prior to dispatch. And finally, there are no restrictive minimum order quantities. They support everything from a single individual plate for emergency maintenance all the way up to full container loads for major infrastructure projects. If you need to leverage these materials for your own projects, here are the vital contact details for Alloy 360. Their global headquarters is located in Milan, Italy, with a regional hub operating out of the Economic and Technological Development Zone in Shenyang, China. For direct project inquiries and competitive pricing right from the Jebel Ali stock, you can easily email them at sales@alloy360.it. As we wrap up this explainer, let's reflect on the vital role of optimized logistics and premium metallurgy. The purity of the metallurgy and the efficiency of the supply chain logistics are completely inseparable. They rely on each other. So as you look at your next major infrastructure timeline, ask yourself, are you simply sourcing a material or are you securing a strategic advantage? Thanks so much for joining me to explore this fascinating supply chain.